All right. Hey, Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom. First and foremost, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachakodash, and double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and as well as the men that taught them, and peace and blessings to all Joachim Model, who pushing this word with our truth and sincerity, as well as to all you believers out there who believe in the gospel. And it's a couple of brothers from the Great Millstone Houston camp. I'm the brother Korah Abad. And as always, we got the beloved advertiser Pi as well. And the Wadi Howard Bashim Shai, Khan. The Wadi Howard Bashim Shai for blessing us with another opportunity to come forth and bring forth the news, information, or as we always say, like we like to call it, prophecy. In which man is getting excited in the times that we in. And we know when a movie, usually movies, have a climax to every movie. A climax. So we lead to the climax of all things. But even when you think about this movie, even after the Jacob's Trouble pop off, America being destroyed, we got so much more to look forward to. Even in the kingdom. So it's like it ain't gonna stop, right? But we get into the times that us, the believers, we can rejoice because before we can get to a kingdom, we have to see our enemies fall, and it's the main enemy Esau Edom, and we seeing him, the so-called white man, mainly America, but all these nations coming together to fall. And as the Lord said, before they do, they will have to, be as one, with a new world order, missiles and all. And we see everything that's said in the last days to take place. We seeing it play out in our very time, man. So be excited. But before we hop into it, Advertiser Pie, you got anything?
This is Jeremiah chapter 28, verse 8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms, of war and of evil and of pestilence, which is the same thing we're doing today. All right, this scripture is talking about us in these times. All right, so we're doing what the prophets before us have done, and as the brother was saying, all right, that's the modus operandi, if you will, of how kingdoms fall. All right. At the end of the kingdom, the kingdom and rulership never just hands over the torch. All right. It's always, it's usually, all right, maybe not always, but usually there's moral decay and decline. All right. Just lewdness and all type of debauchery. But then ultimately, the Most High raises up a people, the next to rule to take down that, the current rulership. And so in the midst of all the chaos, that's what's going on. This is why all of this is going on. A new kingdom is emerging. All right. But first, all right, this wicked kingdom, which is it's a monument to the flesh and carnality and everything that's unholy against Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. That's what we're living in now. All right. But we're telling you it is coming to a close. And this is what the prophets have always done. All right. Again, Jeremiah 28 and 8, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence. So there's war all over the world, and there's evil all over the world, and we also are about to see more pestilence, all right, befall the world, all right. So you got it, Doc.
Gone, that's it. So we'll hop into it. And as you see from the title, Shalom Tala Akim Akwath, who may be tuning in, Yahweh Bashem Shabrak Thumb. But on the title, it says Thursday Live, Perilous Times, Digital IDs and UBI. As a matter of fact, before we get into the first article, I'm going to get this in Peter, since it says Perilous Times, real quick. So, like, let me just get on my phone. This is Second Timothy, not Peter, Second Timothy 3:1. It says, "This know also that in the last days, perilous times shall come." Right? It says, "This know also that in the last days, perilous times shall come." I'm gonna go into that word perilous on the AdamondOnline.com. It says perilous, 1300s, full of danger, risky, involving exposure to death. And a lot of people about to be in situations to whether directly or indirectly be putting themselves in danger or exposed to death. Even if now it's to the point families or not families, women about to see that how important it is to have a man or a husband, or should I say a husband or a man. You know, because you ain't just about to go to the store no more and walk out with a basket full. And I'm not talking about with the just snap EBT women who can't walk out the store with a basket full. I'm talking about you not on snapping EBT, you walking out off your own money, thinking you about to go home, fix your family some breakfast or dinner. And the thing is, you have people out there who need that. Either they gonna follow you home or take it from you right there. That we coming into those times as such, man. Perilous times. Anything is. Well, we know the Lord said a time like never before. Let me finish reading. It says exposure to death, destruction, or injury, also spiritually dangerous. So we're in a time again like never before. But if you ain't having another type of power, we can hop into it.
Oh yeah, you got it.
So we can hop into the first one. This is from endtimeheadlines.com. This was put out a couple of days ago, October 8th, 2 days ago. And we know what's about to happen November 1st. The Trump administration just want to remind everybody, in case they forgot. It says the Trump administration post notice that no federal food aid will be coming on November 1st. They don't care about no riots. They don't care about who crying, nothing. It says the U.S. Department of Agriculture announced no federal food aid will be issued November 1st amid ongoing shutdown. It says amid the ongoing shutdown. It says the shutdown starting October 1st is the second longest on record. It affects SNAP, aiding 1 in 8 Americans with groceries. The Trump administration refuses to use $5 billion in contingency funds for regular benefits, reserving them for disasters like Hurricane Melissa. The USDA notice said, bottom line, the well has run dry. At this time, there will be no benefits issued November 1st. We are approaching an inflection point for Senate Democrats. So that's where they at with it. It says, in states express concern, some pledge, check this out. Now, this is important. This part important for as we go on, because we got 2 videos who gonna mention this part right here. It says states, right? Because the government saying we ain't giving nothing. So the states themselves, this is what they saying. States express concern. Some pledge to cover costs temporarily. They said we're gonna take care of it as the state. We ain't worried about the government. It says, but without federal reimbursement. And the government said, and we ain't gonna pay y'all back. Because we don't got to. So we'll let the video explain that a little more on, but we are in some interesting times. Even if you ain't on SNAP or Section 8 or whatever it may be, everybody about to get affected. And we knew that already because the Lord prophesied about it already in the scriptures. Let's play a quick video. You got some other types of problem on that one?
No, you good.
Let's play a quick video. Again, I gotta remove this. Stop that. Put that on share screen. Let's play this a little bit. So this from Snyder Reports. It says police warning: grocery store crime wave beginning this weekend. Now I'm gonna say this: it might not see. We may see some things pop off. We may see people stealing, right? But people been stealing the past couple of years, walking out of stores, Target, CVS with bags full. We've been seeing that, and it might be some events we may see fighting the security guard at the door. We may see some things, But for the real action that we looking forward to as believers, give us some weeks. Shit, even some days, Lord willing. But just give us some time. Let these things play out and hope they don't open up the government.
Police are now warning the American people that chaos could ensue in just mere days. What we're being told is to not go outside. Do not go to the grocery store come Saturday. You need to go to the grocery store today or tomorrow, and then do not go for several days or possibly weeks, depending on a specific situation. I'll explain more on that in a moment. But that is what is concerning. That police are now telling us they are being asked to patrol grocery store parking lots. Listen to this, okay? And let me show you this, and this is the reason why. It says, fuming SNAP recipients threaten to loot if food stamps are cut November 1st. Says, stay the F out of my way. I want to read this to you. It says right here, SNAP recipients are taking to TikTok and threatening to loot grocery stores if their food stamp payments don't go through on November 1st due to the government shutdown. Person says, I'm going to tell y'all straight up like this. I just got that text that the link is definitely cut the F off for November.
And I got to say this, and brother's been saying this. When these Edomites been doing update videos on the SNAP benefits and people responding to their situation, but they trying to, and as we all been saying, they trying to put it on the Negroes, right? Not even the Northern Kingdom, but especially the black woman. Though, yeah, they be overboard with it. They do too much. And even when they fill their basket with BS, you know, the thing is, it's not just we about to see them act out. They just put in those videos. It's about to be all people who own these benefits, and it's gonna trickle down to those who not. Even the ones who doing the little videos like him, he gonna start to feel these things.
Remember, y'all better stay the F out of my way in these stores because I'm walking out with carts and I'm not paying for anything. Okay, interesting. Here's where things are going to go, well, sideways. And we do have some good news, and I'm going to explain that. Okay, let me explain that first, and I want to read you something. According to President Trump, he says SNAP benefits will be solved for November. The only problem, we do not know how. We don't know where that money's coming from, and we do not know if it will go to all 43 million Americans that are currently receiving benefits. But I want to read you this warning. Here it is.
Now, real quick, I'm trying not to stop it again, but he said we don't know where that money coming from. Now, it's been said it could come from a few places. You know, it's been in the news that, you know, all this money that Elon and Doge and Trump had got back from, you know, cutting off certain parts of the government. It's been said it could come from there to make Americans think, oh, yeah, see, you know, the government did us right. They gonna send us a little stimulus now. Not knowing what that's going to lead them to. They just think they will get some money or tax, whatever it may be. They go try to make these American citizens think they go benefit from getting money back, not knowing it's going to lead you into begging the government. Think about it. You know how many people getting laid off right now? Whether it's your company firing you because you ain't it, or they firing you because they said we don't need you no more. We got robots now.
Or you working and not getting paid.
That's it. You got us, Zaquan?
No, that was it.
Now that's it. Really think. Oh, hey, Elder Tyler Pop, man, you always mention this. Remember the people in North Carolina who got hit with the hurricane? You think they were back on their feet? House, living, working, going to little Christian church on Sunday, and no, they still losing, hoping they get on SNAP benefits, and now it's about to stop. You've been having the people out there in California, houses been on fire, been trying to probably get on benefits, now it's about to stop. See, it is bigger than what people think. Just because you don't see it on the news or short on YouTube or social media, don't mean it's not happening. It's still people suffering. It's still people in Hawaii probably with the fire still suffering.
Yeah.
So imagine how when it's all really happened, it's gonna be like a domino effect. But he said, where the money gonna come from? They're gonna make the Americans think they're gonna benefit from this system, but it's gonna be led into a digital system, man.
Yes, this is a comment that I received just.
You about to say something other times about Salagi?
Oh, you go ahead.
Kind of Salagi. I got a little excited
The other day. This person says, and I quote, I have been a police officer for 13 years, and the last time we were told to patrol the grocery stores was back in 2020 during the initial lockdown. Okay? That was the pandemic. It says in the beginning, we saw stores being looted, people getting robbed of toilet paper in the parking lots, and others stealing cases of water. In preparation of something similar due to SNAP not sending benefits out, our department is being asked to patrol the stores once again. I don't know how bad this could get, but maybe put out a warning to your channel. Okay. So when this person says that they do not know how bad this could get, but their department is being asked to patrol the stores once again, police don't just go and patrol a parking lot of a grocery store just because. Okay? But I've been also told by another friend of mine that their department is being asked or being told that they could be putting in a few more hours every single day as a result of what's coming. But listen to this one. Okay, this is somebody that is working for a pizza place. Listen to this. This person says, and I quote, "How bad do you expect the food situation to get if food stamps aren't issued? I ask because I do web design for local restaurants, and I was asked by a small pizza chain starting Friday night to require payment via card only. No
Tomorrow night.
cash. Here's why. The owner says that they have been warned that people could order food to homes that aren't theirs, and they could try and rob the driver before they make it to the door. This sounds very serious, and I'm not sure. Is it me, or is the owner just going over the top here?" Let that sink in for a second, okay? People are being very open with how they're going to get food. Some are just going to go into the store and steal it with carts full of food. Others are concerned that they are going to see people robbed inside the parking lots as they're putting food into their carts or into their cars. People are just going to rob them of that food. That's extremely concerning. Others say, and this restaurant owner says that they're concerned that people are going to order pizza or other food to a home that isn't theirs. Then they will go there, rob the delivery driver before they ever get to the door. How scary is that? It's extremely scary when we're being told, don't go out, don't go to grocery stores, do not order pizza because you could see that delivery driver robbed right there on your doorstep. That's crazy. But again, I want to read you this. Okay, President Trump says SNAP benefits will be solved for November. The problem is we only have 3 days. Today is October 29th. So even if it happens tomorrow or Friday, the concern is it wouldn't actually come out soon enough. There would be delays. I want to read this to you. It says right here, President Donald Trump has suggested that his administration may find a way to fund Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program SNAP benefits during the ongoing government shutdown. Speaking on board of Air Force One during the trip to Asia, Trump told reporters, "We're going to get it done," but offered no details on how it might happen.
Right. And that's they got more in all these videos. As always, we ain't gonna read all the articles or play the whole vids, but they all in the description box. But he said they don't know how they gonna continue. We know how you gonna continue. Prophecy told us. You're gonna find a way to bring forth incentives, a digital system, digital dollar for people to buy in, new benefits, but the digital way. That's how. You got anything on that other types of part? We could move on to the next vid.
This is Isaiah chapter 32, verse 5. The vile person, all right, which is Esau, Job 30, the 30th chapter tells us that he was viler than the earth, all right. This is Esau Edom. The vile person shall no more be called liberal or generous, all right. So now this is what you're seeing, all right. And Trump is definitely vile, all right. He's the personification of vile and villainy, all right. This is who they are. This is who these people are. What we've been telling. All right. Oh, you can't say that about the white man. Some of them good. Yeah. Well, the ones that may be good ain't in a position to do anything. The ones with all the influence is evil. The earth is given into the hands of the wicked. All right. And every last one of these Edomites are the wicked, hands down. Regardless of how much good they do, they give to the poor, they contribute to charities, and do all this. They still are the wicked. All right. And at first little chance they get to show you that they are the devil, they'll show you. All right. The ones that pretend to be good, that's because they don't have the power to be who they want to be. Power to get Power gives you the ability to be who you are. This is why we have to be cleaned up by this word. All right. Well, the elect being cleaned up by this word because they're getting ready to be handed a whole world of power. All right. And power shows who you are. And so, right, if you say that's some good Edomites, right, he's doing what he does, deceive. He's deceiving. But anyway, the vile person, it says, uh, shall be no more called liberal or generous, nor the churl, which is the niggard, the miser, the wretched, the wretch, all right, said to be bountiful. All right, so right, they're taking away these things, pretending to be, or proclaiming that, oh, like you read, the well has run dry. I'm so sorry, but the funds have just run out. But I think we found some in the back room. Hold on. What's that back there? Did you find it? Would they might fund it in November. But like the dude said, all right, if they do, it's gonna come at the middle or the end of the month. And then what they gonna do for December? But this is right. This is They don't have no legitimate reason to withhold this stuff. But what the people are about to see though is what also we've been prophesying is the lack of food. All right. So they're gonna trick y'all into getting the MOTB thinking you're gonna eat, and then you're gonna deal with a lack of food. And they're gonna give you Z bugs. You're gonna eat Z bugs.
Or Z people.
And that's coming too. That's coming, you exactly right. Soylent Green is a thing, you know? And I think they already sneaking some of that shit in,
Oh yeah.
you know. But right, this is what's happening. The vile person shall no more be called liberal, generous, helpful. And it says that nor the churl said to be bountiful. For the vile person will speak villainy. This is what's happening. You look at Trump and his entire cabinet. This man has a department of war. They just speaking villainy. All right. Yeah. Um, Gerald Salente had the judge on yesterday, Judge Napolitano, and they was playing from when clip of Trump when he first was campaigning and how he said, yeah, Venezuela was a failing state. No, when he was running the second term, he said Venezuela was a failing state when I left, and he said that we should have went in then and took all that order. All right, Gerald played the clip, so this is what you see going down in Venezuela with Venezuela in the Caribbean. So they speak villainy. And then we know from Micah chapter 2 that when they think there's evil upon their bed, and when the morning is light, They go out and practice it because it is in the power of their hand, and that's the point. All right. They don't just speak it, they have the power to go out and do it. It says, and his heart will work iniquity to practice hypocrisy. Oh, I'm sorry, we don't have the money for you to eat this month. Now, but we can fund these wars all over the world. It's hypocrisy. And this is just on one example. Their whole existence is hypocrisy. They claim you got these small hats who claim to be the righteous. How uh how hypocritical is that? That you the goddamn devil and you claiming to be the righteous. So their entire existence is hypocrisy. All right, it says to practice hypocrisy and to utter error against the Lord. And that's ultimately in the form of the MOTB that's coming. Because Apostle Tahar was exactly correct. All right, this shutdown is a Trojan horse for the MOTB. And that's what all roads lead to the MOTB. All of them. All right. So that's the ultimate error. Let me get this mark in you, all right? It says, and to utter error against the Lord. Y'all come on, get this mark. To make empty the soul. Damn, ain't that what it do? But people got the juice now, they don't have a God gene. Some of them. So Esau is literally doing the scriptures. It said to practice hypocrisy and to utter error against the Lord, to make empty the soul of the hungry. And he will cast the drink of the thirsty, or cause the drink of the thirsty to fail. All right. And then you got it right there, brother. I just wanted to get that point that, all of the goodies, which it goes into also further into this chapter, but they're being cut off. All right. And they're going to give you a hard luck story. But bottom line is they just cutting it off because it's time for a new, according to them, they ready to bring a new thing into the earth. All right. And we've been prophesying to you what that new thing is and not to get it. And that's the MOTB prophesied in Revelation, the 13th chapter. So you got it, brother.
Kind. I was sitting over here thinking, because that article we just read, because you're saying how America, Esau, are just hypocrites. What's going on with American citizens and they don't have any benefits? It says the Trump administration, that last article we just read, it says refuses to use the $5 billion in contingency funds for regular benefits. They said they're reserving them for disaster.
For disaster.
Look, is that Hurricane Melissa, the one that just
right.
Jamaica? What you?
You see that? Yeah, that is hypocrisy.
And look, you ain't even help with the one in North Carolina. You said
right, people in North Carolina.
Yes, you got it. Like it.
No, you right. Go ahead, bro.
But again, as we know, Jamaica just about to be a 15. He about to try to turn it into a 15-minute city. Get them out of there just like he did Hawaii. Just like he trying to do certain cities around America. Yep. And in my opinion, I was thinking about this the other day, and I wholeheartedly believe this. You know how they say harp, and harp been starting with the how they hit Tampa, the North Carolina, different places. Right. I was thinking about this earlier. Hurricane Katrina. That was, how 9/11 was Esau big event, like to use terrorism and to say, okay, we got to take our next step in policing these people. So they had to do a big event. That's the one they use for that. I feel like they first harp. Now I could be wrong. I'm just saying, speaking as a man, they first harp event to get the people over to believe. It had to be Hurricane Katrina, because when you look at the makeup of New Orleans now and New Orleans then, it's different. It
Yeah.
is. Not, of course, you got your French Quarter. You got your Bourbon Street. You got the same tourist sites, but the sites around where Jake was, they wiped them out. Jake died in the flood, and then they revamped them places, and now you got Esau standing all around. That was like, and I was thinking about that's the beginning effects of Esau saying, "Damn, we could use harp on these dumbass people. They gonna fall for it." Now look, that was the beginning of a 15, like not saying New Orleans is a 15-minute city now, but that it could be used to restart a city, wipe people out and restart a city.
Right.
But that was it. That was just a thought. But let's play this video. We can play this video. So this Mike Adams, the health ranger, as he called himself, put this up 2 days ago. It says hungry people will, pun intended, snap in the coming food riots.
Okay, this is just days away now. On November 1st, the food stamp program runs out of money, or I should say the USDA no longer has authority to disperse funds. They probably have some funds stashed away, but they will not disperse them to all the food stamp recipients. And remember, that program is called the SNAP program. It's because people are going to snap when it's cut off. That's the name. I mean, it's right there in the name. So let's start off with understanding the scale of this program. It's almost 42 million Americans receive this free money for junk food, mostly is what they use.
And what's the point of us playing these videos about? Because we touched on it last week. We seen the news touch on it. We see everybody got their opinion on YouTube about the benefits being cut off. But why are we about to play this? Why are the apostles and brothers go? Because what this going to lead to for us in a know? If a brother want to post, we not ignorant of Satan devices. Other people think it's just happening just because the government or Trump mad and he want to hurt niggas. We see it as, okay, they want to, first they've been babyfying you this whole time, hand feeding you. You had a black nigga on Elder Monatizak video about a week ago talking about, man, the government, they've been giving us benefits. So it's like, we ain't got fathers. So, the SNAP benefits became our father. I'm like, what? Bro, what? Yeah, he said that. I was, bro, that's the worst SHIT I ever heard in my life. A big, he looked like 6'4", good 250 in the video. Tell me, yeah, man, the government and SNAP benefits became our father. Y'all taking our father away again? I'm like, oh, he already lost the fight. He out of there. The point is, just like Elder Taza Pop, we just touched on that a week ago in Genesis with Joseph in Egypt. The government was feeding those people who was suffering a famine, and then when they cut off, they was willing to give up everything they had to continue to get fed by the government. Until the last thing was themselves, was the last thing will be people getting that MOTB in themselves. That's why they've been feeding these people all this time with benefits. It wasn't just because America cared about you. If a brother want to post that too, when he do good, he ain't really want to do good. It's for a reason that he doing it good. He didn't give you benefits because he loved the people. No, he gave you benefits because he knew eventually the system was gonna come. How could we babyfy them and have them beg when we need them to? Let's feed them. Let's give them benefits. Let's give them free housing and then strip it from them, and then they're gonna be begging us. Come on, man. That's where we at. So that's why we see people about to riot. And you know what? In this video, I'm gonna play it, but because I'm kind of let the video play. But also, Mike gonna make a good point because what Jake talking about now? Well, we gonna go riot, not riot. We gonna go steal. We gonna go rob. Once they rob, the government saying we ain't gonna help. We ain't gonna get no insurance back to these stores. And we already been seeing robberies with Walmart and these other stores, CVS and all that. And they've been wanting to close up shop. So guess what? Now go ahead and take all that stuff out because it's done. So it's done. So Jake only about to strip the economy within their neighborhoods, and that's just gonna be made for concentration camps anyway. But we can play that on Taza Pie. You got something?
No, you good, brother.
So like it.
Use it on. They use it to buy processed food and soda Pop-Tarts and sugary breakfast cereals and all kinds of garbage that causes diabetes and heart disease and cancer, which of course result in additional long-term Medicare and Medicaid costs and pension healthcare costs, etc. for those who do work. But this program is a disaster. It was initially intended to help impoverished, starving people who would obviously not be obese if they were starving. And it was designed as a temporary stopgap measure to help people who were between jobs or who had a situation that was temporary, maybe for a few months, maybe a year at most, etc. But what it has morphed into is really indicative of the collapsing empire that we live under. It's morphed into a welfare queen type of program, but it also serves as corporate welfare, which I'll talk about as well. So today we have welfare queens who are mostly black women who...
You hear him? Hey, you hear him, huh?
Yeah, come. Come.
And they all talking like all of Edomites been talking like that, and it's really kind of, although we know the Judite woman, she be doing too much, and what they feed us, he about to go. I'm gonna skip over, but what they feeding their children off the EBT and SNAP is some BS. We get that,
Yeah.
but they ain't the only ones. Like, and that's what be pissing me off. How they try to, put Jake in it, which is all quote unquote prophecy, proverbs, bywords, so on and so forth. But the thing is, we start taking it there though on how they really feel. You got to advertise a pop.
But they didn't want, today's woman did not want to live respectable, dignified life. They wanted that. I don't want no man telling me nothing, so give me my free shit. And this is what come with it, even though, yeah, other people are using it, you know. A lot of our women don't need that shit. They just don't want to cooperate with us. They don't want to work with us. But a lot of them don't need that shit. Now, there's some that do. All right. But hey, they get what they asked for. Could have lived a dignified life with a man, you know, and but that's too boring and whatever. You know, they want to do, that's why the scriptures say that the Most High was going to do a new thing in the earth, and a woman was going to compass a man. You know, so yeah, enjoy them proverbs and bywords. Shit, enjoy them. You got it.
Is it? I'll play it a little more.
Group of people that are completely disconnected from the idea of earning an income or paying their own way, who subsist entirely on the system. And the thing to note about this is that when that system shuts down, which may happen temporarily on November 1st, many of these people will lose their minds. They will snap, i.e. the SNAP program. What will happen then? Well, some of them promise to organize mass looting of retail stores, grocery stores, etc. They're going to raid Walmarts. They're going to raid other grocery chains. They're going to shoplift. They're going to just walk in and steal whatever they can carry out. And they're going to do this in huge numbers. They're also going to steal from customers in the parking lots, people who went in and bought their groceries and paid for them. You know, the normal way that you buy food. You earn money and then you spend some of it on the food you want, you know, that system that the welfare queens absolutely do not recognize. So they're just going to ransack places and steal from people. And because this is going to happen mostly in blue cities, the police will not stop them. This is about to occur. It may be halted possibly before November 1st. There will be emergency funding or something for the USDA, which oversees this program. However, I actually think that both the Democrats and Republicans want this to happen. And here's why. They both benefit from it from their point of view. Democrats want a national uprising.
Well, the elites want it. The law wanted to happen, then the elites wanted to happen after. And the two parties, they don't matter. They're just playing their roles.
They want angry people.
They both playing politics. Because I seen the clip. You got J.D. Vance saying, oh, it's not the left that's causing the shutdown, it's the far left. But then you hear Elizabeth Warren, you know, talking about, you know, the situation with the health care, the Affordable Health Care Act. And she's saying that the Democrats don't want to revise the tax credits for the Affordable Health Care Act. And so they both ping-ponging the blame. And in the meantime, the people ain't got food to eat. So Mike is right. But and not to take you right above all that, this is the Most High's orchestration. Mm-hmm. All right. But just know, because like I said, either last week or the week before last, you know, why the politicians, it should be shouting matches in the halls of Congress. Why they not speaking up for you people? Ain't nobody filibustering. Ain't nobody doing nothing. They just quit. They just say, oh, fuck it. We can't get this bill funded, or we can't get these tax credits. Revive, fuck it. Shut it down. Fuck it. That shows what they think about y'all. But it's what you get. We keep telling you, quit voting for the goddamn devil. Y'all voted for the devil. Regardless, right or left, y'all all voted for the goddamn devil, and this is what you get when you dance with the devil by the pale moonlight. This is what you get. Go ahead, Doc.
Yep, now he about to show himself. I'll keep playing it.
In the streets. They want a revolt because they want to, number one, demonstrate how much they hate Trump. But secondly, they want to kind of trap Trump into an overzealous response, maybe even something like a massacre of black people or something that CNN can parade around the media for the next year, kind of like they did with the Charlottesville hoax. And they can say, look, Trump's people are slaughtering blacks. This is, they're going to invoke slave days and slave plantations and everything. They're going to use that. It's kind of like a George Floyd type of moment is what they want to invoke. Now, Trump probably
Get niggas to do stuff, in other words.
won't fall for that. But there could be mistakes among certain law enforcement officers, although it's unlikely, but it's possible that somebody might pop off some rounds, arguably in self-defense, but CNN wouldn't describe it that way. They would
See, boy, hey, these Edomites, they think they slick, and this one don't even like Mike Adams. I'm about to just skip to, if they do, a cop do have to kill one of them, I'm sure it's going to be self-defense, but, you know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. You would have thought Mike was cool back before 2020, and now, the Edomite is coming out, and this is what people getting ready to see.
Yep.
Pastor Tahar said that this devil gonna show his horns for us all over. But yeah, Mike on this Edomite shit. Well, he getting on it. But you got it out there.
Now you know it said in the scripture, Isaiah, every man will go into his own, pretty much. Hey, that's whether a man. I'm not saying but hey, we can see it. People starting to their mindset starting to gather into how they really feel unto their own people, and that's how it's supposed to be. Yeah. But I'm gonna skip it because I just want him to make the point how when they steal, that's pretty much it for the stores in your neighborhood. Which again, Esau won't that
cities. So the best way for the Republicans to stop the cheating, which is something we should all support, actually, I mean, that concept, is to station troops in all the blue cities. And then have the troops run.
When you say station troops in blue cities, that's white man code talk for putting what niggas at.
Yeah, the inner city.
Yeah, the inner city.
Yeah, the urban areas.
Projects.
Yeah. Yep.
The elections with full transparency, no more blocked windows. Make sure the troops are handling the ballots, not the welfare queens, not the Democrat operatives, who are, of course, always cheaters, like I said. In addition to that, Trump wants a reason to be able to engage in things like roadside checkpoints in the blue cities, because it's possible that he may be announcing soon some kind of arrests. I mean, I hope so. It hasn't happened yet, and I've been critical of him for not carrying out these arrests of the traitors, but it might happen. And when that does happen, you also want to be able to control the protests. And so the pre-positioning of troops in all of these cities in response to the food riots.
See that? He just made this video 2 days ago. We said that. Anyway, brothers been saying that, but that's why the troops going out. It was already set up. It ain't just for no random thing. The troops going out because they about to force people to be hungry, and they wish a Negro would start a riot and start stealing and do all the troops start running the street.
Which let's just call it that, because that's probably what's going to happen, food riots. Well, those troops can be stationed there, and there would be calls from the public to have federal troops protect grocery stores and protect non-government buildings. And that's a key distinction, because the courts have so far ruled that while Trump has every right to dispatch federal troops to protect federal property in these blue cities, he has not yet been given the court's, open permission to just have troops everywhere or running roadside checkpoints or, stop and frisk type of activities, which the ACLU would go insane over if that were to start up again. But this is what the GOP needs before the midterm elections, which is roughly about a year away. So Understand then that both the Democrats and the Republicans benefit from food riots. And on top of that, I think that many of the retail establishments benefit from the food riots.
Now he about to say this about how retail will benefit, both gonna benefit, then we can move on.
Because let's take Walmart as an example. Walmart has a lot of stores in these inner cities. They probably don't want those stores to even be open at all. They would rather close them down. But right now they would be accused of closing them down in black areas. They don't want to be called racist. Oh, you close down Walmarts, but only in the black areas, right? That kind of accusation can get a corporation in deep doo-doo. So they can't do that right now, even though they want to. But if black people in the inner cities start looting and robbing Walmarts, well then, Walmart has its excuse. Oh, we had to close those stores down. They kept getting robbed, or they were attacked, or they were set on fire, or there's too much violence. There were shootings, there were break-ins, whatever happens. So even Walmart benefits from having its own stores attacked, because then it can justify the shutdowns and nobody's going to criticize Walmart. Oh, you only shut them down in black neighborhoods. Walmart can respond and say, no, we didn't shut them down based on race. We shut them down based on looting. And we don't know who was looting. We're colorblind. Could have been white people looting. Could have been Asian people. Could have been Hispanic. Could have been black. Maybe it was Eskimos that did all the looting. Those Eskimos, man, when they get hungry. So we had to shut them down because of looting. See? So that covers Walmart or other grocery chains that want to shut down. The end result of all of this, should this play out and not be, halted with funding, the end result is that you're going to end up with fewer grocery stores and food retailers in the inner cities, which is already a horrible problem. They're called food deserts, where you can't get much food, even if you're willing to buy it and not steal it. You can't get much food because there just aren't that many food retailers operating in the city. And some of that is because of shoplifting in places like California.
And he goes on. He says some good things after. But I don't know if you want to say something other times upon that one, and I'll play the next one.
Okay, I want to read some more Isaiah chapter 32, verse 7. It says, the instruments also of the churl are evil. It says, he devised wicked devices to destroy the poor with lying words. All right, even when the needy speaketh right. All right, and the needy are the Israelites. But right, his instruments, like I was mentioning, this whole shutdown is an instrument. And as Mike was saying, it serves both sides. It's a bipartisan win, this shutdown, because it's pro New World Order. All right. It is, in other words, this shutdown accomplished, well, with this shutdown, they'll be able to accomplish more of their New World Order agenda. All right. So it's like I was saying, you got the left blaming the right blaming the left. But to show you it's a game, because Elizabeth Warren was talking about they don't want to revise these tax credits for Obamacare or the Affordable Health Care Act. Well, the Affordable Health Care Act is a part of the framework for the MOTB. So it ain't going nowhere. And we've been speaking on that since Obama took office. All right. That within Obamacare, the Affordable Health Care Act, it makes provisions for people to be implanted with I think it's a class 1. I would have to find my notes on that. But it's an implantable medical device, all right, which is in reference to a micro CHIP. So Obamacare is going to get funded. This is just the games that they're playing. These wicked devices, all right, and why? To destroy the poor. And they said with lying words, all right. So yeah, if they want you to eat, you could eat. You'll see that when everything goes, well, they're gonna take everything offline, and then when everything come back online, it'll be digital. And you'll see that all of a sudden, just magically, they done found all of these resources. All right, but Yeah, this is the scripture is telling you to play. It's giving us to play. All right. Again, Isaiah 32:7, the instruments also of the churl are evil. Esau is the churl, and he is the evil. Well, he's the cause of the evil. He's bringing the evil, which means bad times. It said he devised wicked devices to destroy the poor, Israel, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, you Native Americans predominantly. It says to destroy the poor with lying words, even when the needy speak it right. But the liberal devised liberal things, and by liberal things shall he stand. All right. Rise up, ye women that are at ease, hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech. Many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless women. For the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come. All right. And the vintage, now you see it. And guess what time we in? We in the latter rain. We're in the time of the latter rain. So this would be the last vintage for the year, or your last I said vintage, but the last of your God dog it of your crops. I forget what it's a term, but
Latter rain.
say that again.
Your latter rain.
Yeah, the latter rain, right? Or the former, yeah, the latter rain. I said the former Salakia. The latter rain, right? We're in the time of the latter rain with the last income of your produce would be coming in around about this time of the year in the fall, you know. And so this would be the time you would, you know, if you had grapes, you would set your vintage, you know. So this year it ain't coming. The vintage is failing. All right. It's gonna be a cold winter. Then the scriptures say, pray that your plight be not in winter.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We entering into, we got another month and 2 months, and then it'll be winter. But the gathering, it's not here. It ain't coming. So people are gonna be asked out. They don't know how asked out. They don't know how dire the situation is, bro. But right, cause Jake just think food come out of thin air, and it just pop up at the grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
People don't have no concept of the process of getting food. You know, it's a process, even down to cooking it. But right, many days and years shall you be troubled, ye careless women, for the vintage shall fail. All right, and that's the vintage of your benefits. All right. So, oh, and it said the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come. So yeah, that's it, brother. But you got it from now.
Kind of, I'll play this quick vid from Dabu because he gonna back up what we just played from Brighteon.com. That Esau is forcing Jake to go on the. He gonna force Jake to wild out, so he can have a reason to come in with the troops. And then once Jake wild out, he gonna let him, take some things out the stores, burn the stores, tat down what y'all want to tat on. And they neighborhoods do what they want to do, and the stores ain't gonna open back up. But the Walmart's gonna be concentration camps now, probably, right? But that will touch on it a little bit because he's gonna see how the states trying to step in, as we read in the article earlier. How the states they told the government, look, if y'all want to help these people with their benefits or federal workers, well, not federal workers, but the people with their benefits, us as the state, we gonna step in. The government said, cool. If y'all do that, we ain't reimbursing y'all. They said, look, we ain't reimbursing y'all and don't put that on the insurance because we ain't covering it. We don't care. Let's play it.
7. We got the USDA now saying that SNAP and its benefits are going to expire for some 42 million people if this shutdown persists, and it looks like it's going to. We've got the governor of Virginia declaring an emergency now over this whole thing. The loss of SNAP benefits, and it looks like They're also saying that the emergency use funds that some are saying that they could use and tap into cannot be used here in this instance. They're saying that if states want to step up and give people some money, that it will not be reimbursed. They're saying because of law, there's no legality on a way to pay it back, which all seems super suspect to me. It seems like a setup to me. At this point, we've already seen all kinds of people taking to social media threatening to hit the streets and to just walk out of stores with their groceries en masse. There's all kinds of people saying this. So by the 1st, they expect all this to go into motion, and this affects a lot. This affects all the dollar stores, all the grocery markets, everything around, everything in town. And if people go in there and just rob them, well, they won't last for much longer. They won't be there for much longer to even go and rob for those people. So they will destroy the ecosystem around them, potentially, if this gets out of hand. Not sure when this is going to end, but they're saying right now on Polymarket, the odds of a shutdown now being finished are in the single digits here by Democrats and Republicans not seeing eye to eye. And they're saying that it's only at 15% probability that they end this between November 12th and the 15th. Will it be over by Thanksgiving? I don't know, but we got air traffic controllers also affected. A lot of stuff affected by this. And if they're not there, this is going to make flying and travel around Thanksgiving chaotic as well.
Mm-hmm.
So join me for the live streams.
Mm-hmm. That's the times we're in. You got someone that on top of Paul?
Yeah, no, just like I was saying, bro, if that vintage don't come in that latter rain, you're gonna have it's gonna be a harsh winter. All right. And that's what it's looking like for these women. It's gonna be a harsh winter, you know. But you got it out.
Con. And we can kind of flow through these next two articles real quick, and we'll play that last
Let
video.
let me finish this out.
Con, you got it.
Real quick. This Isaiah 32 and 11. Tremble ye women that are at ease, be troubled, ye careless ones. Strip you and make you bare. All right. Gird sackcloth upon your loins. The brother Gabar Yahweh, he posted a video with his chick. She was getting evicted. Couldn't do nothing about it. She had to give away everything that was in her house. She just gave it away. She had to strip herself and make herself bare. You know, you're gonna see more women, and that's from your physical belongings to your your soul being made bare. All right, y'all gonna be brought back to humility. Cause see, y'all done built yourself up in pride. Y'all done put on pride, but y'all gonna strip yourself of your pride, of your ego, and be made bare to be a woman again. All right. As the Most High made you as a you know uh, um, help to a man. All right. So right, tremble ye women that are at ease. Be troubled, ye careless ones. Strip you and make you bare, and gird sackcloth upon your loins. That means go into a state of mourning. All right. Strip off all of this decoration of Babylon. Take all that shit off and go into your mourning attire and repent. It's basically telling you women to repent. All right. Get out of pride, get out of ego. Go back to being sorrowful. Gird sackcloth upon your loins. And a man might take mercy upon you. But the Most High put a spirit on a brother to have mercy on him. Because you in your pitiful state. You know, a brother have you a brother have pity on a pitiful woman. But it said, verse 12, they shall lament for the teats, for the pleasant fields, for the fruitful vine. All right. So there's going to be a lot of crying for the goodies that once was flowing freely that just abruptly stopped. All right. Going to be a lot of lamenting, which you see it already online, but you got it out.
Con. I'm gonna get a few off the comment board and we can start to wind it down.
Yeah, I got some good ones.
Con. So this is the brother Yahweh, 2 Corinthians 2:11. In the NLT it says, so that Satan will not outsmart us, for we are familiar with his evil schemes. I get the KJV as well. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. And we clearly see what Esau doing again. Why is he taking away benefits? What's the point? We see the bigger picture. It ain't just Trump. He been told what to do. It's because they wanted people to starve out and beg the government, and then when they gonna come with the solution of a digital system, and you're gonna be willing to buy it. He calls of all. See, well, now we see Revelation 13. What it mean? He calls of all situations like this. He gonna make you struggle, so you can be willing to get down. But
Yep.
we see through that. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And even that, it's like, yep, you said this earlier. Well, we said this earlier. Sirach 14:7, that people thought that he gave the EBT and SNAP and Section 8 because he cared about you. Clearly, he showed you he didn't care, because in order to get to Section 8, you couldn't have a father in the house. You see? So, but the thing is, he didn't care about you that he gave you that. He just wanted you to depend on him as a government. But this is why. Sirach 14:7. And if he doeth good, talking about the wicked, and if he doeth good, he doeth it unwillingly. He ain't want to. It says, it says,
Yeah.
and this and now this is what we seeing. And at the last, he will declare his wickedness. Now he taking it away.
Oh man,
So we
that's
see it. Yep.
woo,
Yeah, you got it if you want to speak on it. Yep.
woo, that's fine. Yeah, yeah, you make your point, brother.
No, that's it. You got it. You got it. It's
Yeah,
self-explanatory.
yeah, cause it just perfectly explaining what I was saying earlier. You know, that these devils, they gonna show you who they are in these last days. All right. Because going back to the scripture you always bring out, 2 Ezra 15, that they gonna take the course of their power into their own hands. All right. And so when people do that, when you take power into your own hands, you don't do it, you know, well, I just put it this way. Your real nature comes to the surface. And that's what all of this chaos is gonna do, among the psychosis that the environment is putting on people through 5G. All of these signals in the air, it affects our mental, everything really. Our whole physiology is affected by all of these frequencies that we're being bombarded with, and who knows what effects that it's having on the 2/3 and these heathens out here. All right. So you see people crashing out. Did Esau put something in their head? But this is the time we're living in. They can beam thoughts into your head. They got the patents for it. All right. And as I was telling you before we started, um, before you wrap up, that people worried about the food situation, with the EBT, and then the housing Section 8, worried about that. But as I mentioned, this affordable health care is the cause of all of this. That's the reason for the shutdown. So you're going to see, and like I said, they're not going to get rid of it. They'll revise it, if anything. But, and this is what I think is coming back. Just going back to what Apostle Tahar said, this is a Trojan horse. You're going to see the medical system. It's going to be revamped. I can't say in which way, but all of this, they're going to let the chaos come, and the government shutdown to continue. And then when things come back online, your medical, all your benefits, your this including your housing, and then they gonna, have it tied to all your banks, because we all have to get the direct deposit, and so that's with your job. Everything is gonna come back up digital. But for right now, they saying if these tax credits don't get revised, that people's premiums and stuff, when they go to get these medical procedures, whatever, it's gonna be through the roof. So it's just crisis on top of crisis on top of crisis
Mm-hmm.
that people are being forced to deal with, and as you just was mentioning, right? That's Revelation 13 and 15, 13 and 16, Salaki. Revelation 13 and 16, where he's causing all right, by way of duress. He's putting the whole world under duress for the sake of the MOTB being the people's savior. And when you do that, how can Yahushua, as an Israelite, how can Yahushua be your savior?
Right.
You're looking for the MOTB to save. All right. And like this woman, and I think Apostle Tahar had the same woman on, but Elder Atazaria posted a video of this woman, and she was just going into, all of this, what we go into. And she was just breaking it down in the earshot, but she said something. She said a few things that was good, but she basically said you take the MOTB, and this wasn't her exact words, but you you make null and void the blood of Yahushua. And she didn't say Yahushua, but that's in essence what you're doing. You making, as an Israelite, it don't matter about you heathens, but as an Israelite, you take this MOTB, you make null and void the blood that was shed for you on Calvary, on that cross. So there is no right. You got to die. You have to, yeah. You got to go. But go ahead. That was the point about that.
So we're about to wind it down and read a little bit into one article. I just want to highlight this one real quick, and we'll play a quick vid because you said it's going to tie it to health and financials. But that's what it said right here from Natural News, put out 2 days ago. New AI research tools aim to examine juice data. It says the V word, but juice data and UBI implications. So they looking to connect everything anyway. But now I'll read a little bit into this one just to show, because I know we've been hearing a lot about digital IDs, but as they saying, digital IDs is gonna lead straight to CBD season one. I play a little bit of this one, but the woman right here saying everybody really already got it. They're already tracking everybody. If you got the little, I think it's a gold star at the top right of your driver's license, you already in there. This is they gonna take it to another level after this.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the brother Yakar Bond, he told me about this about a year or so months ago. He was like, yeah, we really already got the digital ID. Shit, you told me to take out my my driver's license. I did. Like, yeah, it's that star right there.
Yeah.
Now everybody talking about it. You see? But let's go ahead and I read a little bit of this article. It says digital IDs, the global push for control and the fight for freedom. It says, I'm gonna read the headers. Governments worldwide, Vietnam, UK, the US, and the EU are accelerating digital ID programs under the guise of modernization and fraud prevention. It says Vietnam deactivated 86 million bank accounts overnight to enforce compliance and with its national digital ID system. Overnight. It can happen overnight. See, these camps waiting on years for the whole thing to progress. We're in the progression. Once it's set, it can happen overnight. They could cut the system, just like they did in Vietnam. A live example. It says the UK Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, openly advocates for digital IDs tied to employment. You want a job and get by, you got to get down. It says signaling coercion adoption, right? You have incentives, right? They can cut your taxes, whatever it may be. It says, and the EU also aims for 100% citizen adoption by 2030 using the EUID wallet from the World Economic Forum. It says also the digital IDs will likely pair with CBDCs, enabling punitive restrictions, carbon quotas, which is a social credit score, right? You can't go certain places, you can't move too much, can't eat certain things, can't drive. It says, or dissent penalties. You got anything to say against the government, you can get penalized. It says, and financial lockdowns. They can cut your card off, right? Let's read a little bit more. We can play this video. It says, I read that. It says in a digital ID, it's like in a digital driver's license, biometric airport programs and CBDC proposals are paving the way for mandatory tracking. I'm gonna jump down a little bit. Read about the US. Well, we already read that. Let's play a little bit of this video, and that's it. All right, here we go. Stop screen. Just a little bit. And that's it.
There's hundreds of thousands of people in the streets protesting the mandatory digital ID that is starting on January 1st. But Americans are not protesting in the street because they don't even realize what they have in their pocket. They think that digital ID is a good thing. They don't understand it pings the government every time they take it out and use it. And they don't understand what it could become, that it could link them to a global identification system.
Hey, you know how the Real ID is there to make sure that the establishment has control over you and can shut down your life at the snap of a fingers? Well, guess what? Rand Paul's doing something about it. Chairman Rand Paul introduces the Safeguarding Personal Information Act of 2025. Real ID is effectively creating a national ID card with no limit on the personal information being shared between all 50 states, the District of Columbia possessions, and territories, said Chairman Rand Paul. My bill repeals this dangerous mandate and restores the privacy, due process, and First Amendment rights stripped away in 2005. The government should not have a dossier on every American. You should never have to show your papers to travel freely within your own country or enter a building your tax dollars paid for. And this is it. So this organization, CCHF, that is which stands for the Citizens Council for Health Freedom, applauds U.S. Senator Rand Paul's bill to repeal the Real ID. So this is important. So Citizens Council for Health Freedom, which is leading the charge nationwide against the federal Real ID system, commends U.S. Senator Rand Paul, chair of the U.S. Senate Committee on Homeland Security and Government Affairs, for introducing the Safeguarding Personal Information Act of 2025, a bill to repeal the Real ID Act of 2005, introduced on September 11th, the anniversary of the very event that led to the creation of Real ID. Senator Paul's bill takes aim at the system of surveillance being built in the name of national security. Senator Paul is standing up for state sovereignty and for every American's right to privacy and personal autonomy, said Twyla Brasse, an RN and PHN president and co-founder of CCHF. Let's bring her in. She's with us right here. Twyla is a registered and certified public health nurse who co-founded the Citizens Council for Health Freedom, a national organization based in St. Paul, Minnesota, that advocates for healthcare choices, individualized patient care, and medical and genetic privacy. She's widely recognized for her health freedom.
Federal ID under federal control for a country that says that states are in charge of everything except what the federal government is limited to. But this is a federal ID for federal control that I believe that it will expand far beyond flight.
And so Rand Paul is trying to step up. What do you think the chances are of this bill passing?
So I think there's several ways to look at that. So he is chairman of.
If it's what quote unquote Real ID, it's a federal ID. And isn't America haven't we always been opposed to this kind of stuff? You have to have a federal ID and you have to show your papers when you travel?
Yeah, so America has always been opposed to a national ID, but we are calling it a federal ID, even though it is a national ID. We're calling that so that people understand it's the federal government that's in control of it. And actually, we had somebody contact us and talk about their story from the DMV, and they went and they to make the switch back to a standard state driver's license. Right. And the DMV.
I wanted her to kind of explain, but I'm gonna get straight to the point because she was going into how every American got a digital, digital ID already. But how that star, what it's gonna lead to, like, and what she was saying, every time you use your ID, even now that alert the government when you're using it. It already do it. If you got that gold star in the right corner, whatever that gold symbol in the right corner of your ID, you already there. But she gonna further explain now from since everybody got it and they don't know it, what is it gonna go to?
Unconstitutional. And this is the federal government being able to control all the activities of your life. And then talked to you had even put up the law there where it says, access to federal facilities, nuclear facilities, commercial airlines, and any other purposes that the secretary shall choose. So we believe that that will include healthcare, buying a gun, buying ammunition, maybe going to college. It depends on how far they want to turn the screws, as it were, into deciding what you can and cannot do. And of course, this is completely unconstitutional. And this is the federal government being able to control all the activities of your life. And then the DMVs have said that they are digitizing it, putting it on our phones, and then having remote access to it. And they expect that they will eventually have 100% of us in a digital ID. So this is when I say, in the UK, there's hundreds of thousands of people in the streets protesting the mandatory digital ID that is starting on January 1st. But Americans are not protesting in the street because they don't even realize what they have in their pocket. They think that digital ID is a good thing. They don't understand it pings the government every time they take it out and use it. And they don't understand what it could become, that it could link them to a global identification system, that it could become the controversial Vax passport, and that it requires a biometric. So this is another really important thing to understand. And I'm going to tie what happens at the airport in with this particular comment. So the Real ID rule requires a biometric starting with your face, which means a digital photograph, which means they have certain data points of your face. They don't even need the photograph of your face anymore. They just need the data points. And so so they require a biometric, your face, your facial geometry, and that's the first one. But they said that they could increase the biometrics. Now in Colorado and Oklahoma, they've already added a thumbprint to their Real IDs. And so what this means is the government has made a claim. They've said that they can collect and catalog the coordinates of your body, put them in a database, and use them to control you. And in short, they are building a facial recognition system in this country through the Real ID, and they'll be able to identify you wherever you are. And this is just like China. Remember where all the cameras, and during COVID, they knew where they were down to 2 feet of space, if I recall correctly. And so people just think this is handy. They don't realize what is going on here. But just imagine, so we got the Trump administration now, and Kristi Noem is pushing people into this system, within the Trump administration, right? But now, what if we had a Gavin Newsom as a president? What if we had a Gavin Newsom administration? And they decided that you should be in a 15-minute city, and they're going to know every time you leave that 15-minute city, and they're going to create a social credit system and a carbon credit system, a way to find out how much carbon use you're doing within that 15-minute city, and every time that you leave, how much do you spend when you go out of it? So, people just have to think about what is actually being built here. Don't look at convenience. I just think it's an amazing scheme to deceive everybody in this country by forcing the DMVs to issue what looks like a state driver's license and not let the people understand that this is really a federal ID that's going to be digitized, controlled by biometrics, and is setting up the framework for a social credit and carbon credit system.
Boom. That is.
I've already seen carbon allowance, I guess, on certain products and menu items of restaurants. They put in how much carbon that if you consume that product, it would be. It's all crazy, but right, they already starting to put this out there. Have you seen them?
Con. Yep.
Yes. So it's coming.
It being
All right.
green.
Say that again, now.
No, it'll be like I had to tell you calories on food, like the calories by the food.
Right, like the calories
right
and all that. Exactly. Right. They already doing it. And that's going into your ESG, your environmental and social governance score, as she was saying. with all the carbon credits and all that. But you got it, brother. That was it.
Now, I ain't got nothing. I'll read one more precept, but we can end it. This is the brother Bama Lot, 2nd Ezra 16 and 21. It says, behold, victuals or food, it says, behold, victuals shall be so good, cheap upon earth, that they should think themselves to be in good case. And we have been seeing that. All these women filling their baskets. I seen a white woman, an Edomite woman, bragging how she got 9 baby daddies and how she getting money. Would you go ahead?
Stealing what she was doing.
Yeah, still right. 9 baby daddies, how she get money from all of them, how she on benefits, how she living. She good. Living good. Kitchen full, refrigerator full. So, and a lot of these women been thinking they've been good. And not just women, men. Like the dude talking about, yeah, man, the government like our daddy, man. These benefits been like my daddy. Like,
that's what it was set up to do, though. That's exactly what it was set up to do. But right, that's a weak, feeble-minded nigga right there.
Yeah, you could tell
go
he
ahead, brother.
Raised by a mother and the one who put him on benefits, passed it down to him. 2nd Ezra 16 and 21. But seeing we've been in them times, people think that was going to last forever. Benefits. 2nd Ezra 16 and 21. Behold, victuals shall be so good, cheap upon earth, that they should think themselves. Keyword think themselves to be in good case. Yep. They think themselves to be in good case. And even then, so at the same time, they thought they was good. And even then, shall evils grow upon earth. Sword, see the troops coming out. At the same time, famine, you're about to be hungry, and great confusion. People ain't gonna know what's going on. All these things about to happen. This 2nd Ezra 15, what we always read, but in chapter 16. When easy times stop, these things gonna grow. The sword, troops, and people gonna arm themselves. People gonna get hungry because of a famine. That's gonna be the start of a famine and great confusion. Nobody gonna know what's going on. How did we get here? And it says in what verse 22? For many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, and the other shall that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. So people gonna about to die either way. But we're in those times, man. But that's it, other times apart. That's all we have.
Yeah, I'm good, brother. You want to close it or?
Well, with the, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. It was a little lengthy, but hey, our hopes was that it was edifying and put that info out there before times get short, so we ain't gonna be able to. But again, look out. 2 days from now it's the 30th right now. We got Friday tomorrow the 31st, and then Saturday the 1st. So let's see how things play out. Pray to Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai. Do get
it would be wisdom though, as Matthew 10 and 16 says, be ye wise as serpents and harmless as doves. It would be wisdom to go ahead, if you can afford to get your little groceries before the 1st. That's just being wise, because we're going to have to move in wisdom throughout Jacob's trouble. All right? We can't just expect the Most High to do everything. He can, but he gives us a mind for a reason. Like the apostle say, he titled a video back in the day. I think he put that title, but I know he had mentioned it. Use your head for something more than a hat rack. People would say that back in the day. But right, the Lord give us a mind and wisdom for a reason, for us to use. So yeah, that was it. Just if you can, go and get your stuff. Don't even be, and if it look like it's some foolishness, go on break. Get away from it.
Yeah.
Because that could invite ICE, and they don't ask no questions. They'll straighten it out wherever they're gonna take you. But yeah, that was it.
I was about to say this too, because as you were saying that, go get your food if you can. And I was about to try to give another solution, but I even thought that might be something. You know how now people got deliveries. Uber, like the Uber deliveries, people come bring your food. Well, I was like, yeah, I'll just do a go do a pickup order, or go call in and have people drop it off at your crib. But I thought that's gonna be easy targets, because the majority of people who go drive and do those things, a lot of them really don't have guns. A lot of them, like high school kids who may be looking for a job, or like ladies, or just men, who don't want to do. But the thing is, they go follow those people who come and they go watch them load their
They got
car.
the company logo.
Yep,
Right.
yep. The company logo, load their car up in the parking lot. Boy, look, they got some juice. They got water. They got some steak, and they can follow that little HEB, Kroger, Publix, Randall's car, wherever, to where you going. And when they get to your neighborhood, sooner, man, to see we're in those times. We're in those times. But that's it. That's all. That's it.
Hey, you got it, Doc.
And with that, hey, we'll give all praises once again unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rafaqadash, and double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and as well as the men that taught them, and peace and blessings to all you Akim out there who pushing this word with all truth and sincerity, and as well as all you believers out there who believe in the gospel and keep fighting and keep pushing, and we're almost out of here. And with that, shalom.
That's right. Shalom.